Astrobot has quickly become my new favorite platformer. This is everything I loved and missed about the PlayStation 2 era of gaming, perfectly wrapped up into one brilliantly crafted package, and you absolutely need to check this game out. When I got my PlayStation 5 on launch day, the first game I played on it was Spider-Man Miles Morales. But after I wrapped that up, I decided to check out this free little game that came pre-installed on the PlayStation 5 called Astro's Playroom. And that little experience blew me away. I could not believe how good it was, and when I finished it, I couldn't stop thinking about how much I hoped they would make a full game. A bigger experience with more worlds to explore while also maintaining that heart and charm that Astro's Playroom had. Flash forward 4 years later, and that wish came true with Astrobot. Not only did I get exactly what I was hoping for, but the incredibly talented team at Team ASOBI went above and beyond with this one, giving us an experience that is easily one of the best games available right now on the PlayStation 5. This is one of the most polished games I have ever played, especially on launch day. I have not encountered a single glitch or bug during my entire playthrough. There's around 80 levels for you to play here, and every single one of them feels perfectly crafted. There's no random difficulty spikes, there's no jank. Everything here feels so fluid and natural in its design. I always found myself almost instantaneously figuring out what the game was asking of me, where to go, how to properly use the abilities I have at my disposal, where to look to find collectibles. It is truly awe-inspiring, and it's some of the best game design I have ever experienced. This game also feels fantastic to play. In a platformer, the most important thing you have to nail is the movement, and this game knocks it out of the park. There are very few games where I find the simple act of moving to feel as fun as it does here in Astrobot. Whether you're walking, running, or jumping, I found it hard to not have a smile on my face with how much fun I was having with this game from beginning to end. I also gotta say, the use of the DualSense capabilities here is unmatched. The way they are able to implement all of the features of this PlayStation 5 controller without it ever feeling gimmicky needs to be studied by other developers. There's even the occasional use of motion control in this game, something I hate in most games, and they managed to make it enjoyable here. Every one of the worlds felt so unique and lively. I constantly found myself wondering how they were going to top themselves next, and they somehow managed to do so. Not once did I ever feel like I was playing two levels that felt the same. And with there being as many levels in this game as there are, it left me feeling genuinely awestruck. Not to mention, the music in this game is just as good as all of its other components. There are so many songs that will get stuck in your head. You can tell so much thought and care was put into this soundtrack, and it helps bring so much personality to this experience, even though it already had that in abundance. You can't talk about Astrobot without bringing up the fact that this feels like the ultimate love letter to the history of PlayStation. This is jam-packed full of so many PlayStation characters, but it handles it in such a way that it doesn't feel like annoying, pointless fan service. Instead, it feels like a celebration of gaming. There are characters in here you're probably not going to know, and the game doesn't outright tell you who they are either. There's even some sections where you get to play as the iconic PlayStation characters and take on their abilities. As you've probably seen in the marketing, there's a whole section where you get to play as a Kratos version of Astrobot and go through a God of War themed level. These levels were always a blast to play through, and some of the picks for the PlayStation characters you get to play as really surprised me in the best way possible. If I really wanted to nitpick here, I would say I wish the designs for the enemies were a bit more memorable. From a gameplay standpoint, they're perfect for the game. The boss fights are especially great, they just look pretty generic. Again, that's if I'm wanting to nitpick. Reality is, Astrobot is one of the best games you can play on PlayStation 5 right now. It's one of the best platformers on the market, and I would go as far as to say it is one of the best games ever made. Astrobot is brilliant, and it easily earns a 10 out of 10 score. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this review. Like, subscribe, and all that YouTube stuff. And I'd love to know, have you played Astrobot yet, or plan on playing it yet? And if so, are you enjoying it as much as I did? I would love to hear your thoughts.